What's left of a Catalina air base, and buried under there somewhere, which I'm going to walk around later, there's supposed to be 3 or 4 Catalinas are buried underneath the she oaks and sand. But I'll talk that story. But there's a flying boat, as they call it. Still all Palm Island here. So I'm going to park her up here. Check out the Catalina air base. Don't know if anyone's living here, but we'll see. Let's go around the corner a bit. But somewhere underneath all that sand, there's supposed to be 3 or 4 Catalinas parked under the sand in perfect condition. The Americans left it here after the war. This used to be a big Catalina air base, and they'd fly in here and then go up on the beach and get serviced up there. And from here they pushed everything off the end, all the generators and all sorts of stuff went off the end here. Apparently it's just littered with stuff everywhere. But I'm going to walk amongst that in a minute. A nice place, beautiful. So this is where I'm going to spend the night, and then tomorrow I go over the Phantom to do another part, stage 2 of the leper colony. That's what's good about this boat, is that you can just go in such shallows and just park anywhere you want. I've got to see if someone's up there in that house. Just say hello, introduce myself. To think that that used to fly in the air with guns and things hanging off it. Get her up here on the beach. Anyway, I'm going to go ashore and check out. Say hello to some people. Just got to make sure my parking spot's good. Well, let's go and check out the Catalinas. It's so easy, isn't it? You think that this thing used to fly across the water. Lots of graffiti. I think it was built by de Havilland company. Top rivets. Really well made. Nice little shelter. It's about the closest I've ever been to being inside a seaboat. Boy, would I love one of these. You could just go anywhere. It's like less than it's about 20 mil, less than 1/8 of an inch thick. Pretty wrecked up. some more pieces there. Well, this is great. I saw this wreck quite a while back, 15 years ago actually, when I got here to check this out. Hang on, there's something wrong on my screen. Anyway, all good. Don't know much about them. I'd say that's, yeah, there's the seats up front. This is the forward bit, top pit. Left my thongs back at Pina Guy's place. It's so dry here. This is where I'm going to spend the night. Now somewhere off here, apparently they bulldozed everything that was here for the base. They pushed off the end there, and it's all in the water there. Apparently it's be a pretty good dive site, but I'll see what it's like to have a dive tomorrow. Water's pretty clean at the moment. Let's go over to this stuff. Nice humpy. There's the boat part. I'd say this is coming to the back end here. So all I know is that in there somewhere, the bulldozers came through, dug out two Olympic pool size holes, and they put 3 or 4 of these Catalinas in there, brand new, or you know, been used but perfect nick, and then they buried them with sand, and that's where they still are today. And not many people know about that. Imagine resurrecting a couple of Catalinas. That'd be great. I don't know if there's anybody living out here, but I'll go and say hello. Willy Willy. Looks like I got the place to myself, maybe. Don't know if there's any dogs. Blackfella Camp. What a view. Imagine living here. What a place. You know, I tend to think of what I'm going to do in my retirement. I don't know where to go, except that's it now, that boat. That's my home. I shouldn't worry too much. Lord will take care of me all the time. People once lived in here. Just a bit of cyclone damage, that's all. So down here, this is the site. Somewhere under this ground here, 3 or 4 or 5 Catalinas. I wish I had a picture of the Catalina to show you what it looked like, but they are quite a plane. It flew in its time. But this is obviously a workshop site. They probably would have, they had wheels. They could come up onto the ground. I'd say this is where they'd get service, so burial site has to be somewhere over there. Could be there. Could be just here. But all the machinery, bulldozers, generators and everything, they when they're all finished, they pushed it off the end after digging the hole and burying them, and that's it. Said see you later, off they went. So it's like $1 Million Point off Vanuatu, where they just pushed everything off the edge and went into the water. Let's see what else is around here to film. Just a few old houses. Foundations to a place, probably the headquarter building. Looks like a well. Yeah. So in its time, this is where they would have had the office, crew quarters, mess hall. Who knows? But pretty strong bases. So dry here. Bumblebee. Part of plane wreckage. Definitely the plane. Caught up amongst all this stuff. Whether or not it's ripped away from that down there or it's just another plane. But it's cyclone. It's amazing what cyclone can do damage wise. Can throw things everywhere. But that was a good find. More wreckage. Yeah, trees growing through that one. Oh, this ground's hot. Turtle. More wreckage down there. See what that is. Another workshop. Big post holes. Definitely part of the base here. You don't go to this extent, such a concrete slab with big pole holes in it. Old caravan. Trashed. Anyway, I'm going to move on down, find some more stuff and might have a swim. That's pretty good. Looks like part of a strut off the plane going out to the wing, I'd say. Just lying here on the beach. So somewhere out there, probably right there, to be the closest point, should be all the bulldozers and Willis Jeeps and whatever else on the bottom there. But I need a tank to do that dive. Just not enough time left in my life to go and find everything and document it. Like right there, there's just on the beach here. There's off a goat horn. That's all it is, just a goat horn. Anyway, back to Malachi. Great shot. Modern day boat with a flying boat. Nice big monoliths way up there on the hill. The roadway up the top there, I wouldn't mind getting there in the next couple of days. I walked it a long time ago, 15 years ago. A couple of young blokes that are now growing up. Another wheelie wheelie. Wow, look at this. I just followed an old cable. A big, massive winch cable, like this thick, rusted in its time, that would pull the Catalinas up onto the beach, turn them around and put them back in the water when they're ready to take off again. But this looks, oh, it's a wing. Unreal. A lot of evidence here of diggings. That's the wing off the plane, part fuel tank. That's pretty cool. Good timeline. Levers and cables. Another wing. So I guess I found a full plane here. Well, what's on the beach to what's here. Oh yes, engines. Engine mount. And other engine mount. Well, this is what they were talking about. So they dug the big holes, buried the planes. Over time, these bits have been stripped off. So this would have been all covered up. There's pieces down here on the ground, around here. An engine bolted on the front of that. How unreal. I'll get in here. That is unreal. What a great timeline. Look at this thing. It was once flying in the air. Well, it's great. This is what I was looking for, the buried planes. So this is an area where it would have been done. The rest of them are supposed to be underneath the sand somewhere around here, but this one's pretty exposed. It's definitely different from the other one that's on the beach. But it could belong, the wings belong to it, I don't know. Well, this is a first for me to be, look at the size of the construction of this thing. Engine base, probably wheels. Yep. This is where they buried them. Well, I'm pretty happy with this journey so far. Documenting the leper colony and sitting with elders, going to church. Documenting an old Catalina air base. I just can't believe that this thing once flew through the air and landed on the water. That's great, but I'm going to have a scout around here, have a look at what this other place, what's got this got to show here. Looks like I've got a full plane. Bombardier the captain. Yeah. Look at this, they've just pulled them out of the ground. Salvaged them, ripped them apart. Rock and rollers with one foot in the grave. Extreme measures of overtones of personal danger happened here. I love the way this tree's just growing through the timeline of this plane. But they're not crashed, it's just parked and left. But good to have the whole site without signs saying keep out, belonging to somebody else, and governments and this and that. Just like them monoliths, I'd love to get up there and check that out. But leaving the boat, pretty dangerous, so I don't want it getting stripped, so I've got to keep it all in view. It's like walking on part of the exhaust parts coming out. I can't believe I'm walking on a wing of a plane. But obviously this must be the pits where they dug the holes and buried them. And the people have come along in time, as I said, and dug them up, and left them wrecked like this. Don't know what this bit is. That's the leading part of the plane, the wing. Must have done about 500 miles an hour through the air, maybe less, 300. A lot of windage and drag. Don't know what that part is. Maybe fuel tank. So I think we're talking about an timeline around about 48 onwards to 54 to 58. Who knows? Well, I'm going to see what's up here, but that's great. Always wanted to find a plane, but I got told about this one. I just love that engine, and obviously everything else was in the middle, and the wingtips go off from there. But I have a feeling one day I'm going to find one in the jungle. This flat area here must have been where they pulled them up. Straight off the beach, come in. It's pretty well, yeah, it would have just been like an airport thing. I'll see what else I can find. That's wreckage, eh? Well, this is definitely the place where they actually came up. Been no trees anywhere for its timeline. That they would have brought them up here, turned them around and flew them back up, go back in the water and then take off into the wind. Once again, a lot of Americans would have had parties here. Might have dropped the odd coin, who knows? American dollar. Anyway, I've got to save footage and get on to the next gig. The next gig is across the Phantom to do the staircase to the old nunnery. See you later, Catalina. Nice name for a chick. Look at the bits of plane everywhere. Look at this for a view. I love it. Just in an old shack here. It's not far from the plane. Would have been some barbecues here. A few turtle kills. But how's that for your view? Just gonna sit down. Look at that. That view, eh? Like, this is primo real estate. Yeah, you get a cyclone every now and then, but boy, if you made it cyclone proof, but you can't help it if one comes this way and you get the trees and everything thrown up, but it seems to be a good spot. $1 million point. The Adventures of Malachi. Just filming here. What this is a plane that's been salvaged off Palm Island just here, and that's a bullock team pulling it out of the bushes. And as far as I know, that plane is this plane here, which was crashed. Seems to be a Zero, Japanese maybe. Pretty sure it was Japanese one. Anyway, don't know my planes that well, but these are the photos, and here's another part of the plane being salvaged. There's an engine just there, and they're putting it on a dumb barge. Interesting shots. And that was all here at this place. Interesting thing is up top there's some monoliths. Love to be able to zoom in them. Well, here I am with sunset behind me. Pretty good, parked in this bay. Just having something to eat, going to sleep. Might see a bit of my footage on TV, I don't know. But anyway, nice afternoon. It's been an interesting day, very interesting day. Good day in church too, I did, with a lot of the elders. Went to church this morning. Good message. Anyway, enjoy that sunset.